don't want to get mixed up with a guy like me. I'm a loner, Daddy.
A rebel.
Rebel.
What's up, rebels? Good morning.
Sunrise on the horizon. Sky is blue, no denying. News with Skyjack Morgan. Bright and early new dawn. Every headline, every story. Get your morning some glory. Stay informed, stay tuned as the day greets new blue. Good morning headlines with Skyjack Morgan. Start your day just fine. Information for you, darling. With coffee in your cup, used to fill you right up. Plenty weather on the go. Morning show you need to know. Join us on this.
Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad that you're live.
Catch the latest, feel the vibe. Sky will keep you well supplied. Good morning headlines with Skyjack Morgan. Start your day just fine. Information for you, darling.
Oh! Yeah? 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 Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. My name is Skyjack Morgan. Welcome, 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 welcome. Thank you, thank you. No, you. It's all you. It's all you. It's all you. It's all you and the Lord above. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Skyjack Morgan. I'm an independent news and culture commentator, free speech and critical thinking advocate. And boy, are my arms tired. This is the number one news reaction show on YouTube, the Morning Sky Show. We go over the news and we try to find out why Israel is going to have the death penalty for, just Palestinians. Why would they do that? That's so funny. No ethnic cleansing here, no genocide here. We got the death penalty, but only for certain people of a certain genetic code, if you know what I mean. What? That's weird. Yeah, I mean that's what's going on. That's apartheid. Yeah, it's pretty nasty business. We got nasty business all over the world, and as the world kind of slips into authoritarianism. Will we go silently? Will we go softly? Will we be harmless? I was thinking about I just don't want to be harmless. Is that too much to ask? I'm not saying that everyone's got to go nuts. Everyone's got to go nuts, but I don't want to be harmless. And I guess that's kind of another problem that I have with this No Kings thing that happened on Saturday is that it's just so harmless. Oh, don't mind us. Don't mind us. We're just going to we're going to be a little disruptive for a moment. Don't mind us. We're going to make a tiny little bit of noise for one day, just for a couple hours. Don't mind us. We would just like to humbly and politely express our disapproval of just the president. Everybody else is okay. Everyone from Pete Hegseth to Kristi Noem, everyone to Cash Patel, Spider Cash. I don't know if you've seen Spider Cash. What an awesome name to have for your pornog, your pornog profile name. What's your profile name? I've never had. This is true. I've never had a pornog profile name. I'd love to know. It would probably be like Dirty Vegan, I think is what it would be. Dirty Vegan or something nasty. What is yours? What is yours? Yeah, we would like to express our disapproval in the most convenient manner possible. Please, Cash Yap Patel. His name is Spider Cash. It's like I don't even want to know what kind of pornog he was looking at. But I kind of do want to know what kind of pornog he was looking at. I don't. Bleh, but his name was Spider Cash. Spider Cash does what in a Spider Cash. Spins a web any size, catches nobody, not even flies. Look, it's Spider Cash. I mean, come on, Spider Cash. Did you have Spider Cash on your bingo card? I did not have Spider Cash on my bingo card. The FBI director had all of his accounts hacked. His email hacked, everything was hacked. And that just shows, like, nobody's safe. You think you're safe? I'm not safe. But I mean, this is the director of the FBI. How embarrassing. Like, first of all, like it is just so embarrassing, this air that they all have, whoa, we are holier than thou. No, you're in the dirt with the rest of us, Spider Cash. Holy crap. You'd think that when you became head of the FBI, you just immediately change all your passwords. They say, it's on Cinco de Mayo. Every 5th of May, you're supposed to change all of your passwords. I have not always taken that seriously. I'm about to take it seriously because a lot of my passwords have a certain person's name in it, and so I'm going to take that away. I got to change all my passwords very soon. But I think it's bazonka donka that the president, not the president, the FBI director, Spider Cash, 5th of May. Yeah. It's supposed to be It's supposed to be the day of changing your passwords every 3 months, says Bear Blasting. Does anybody in there spins a web in his pants? Does anybody in the chat actually change it? Let's do it April 1st. That's tomorrow, Ben from Berlin. That is a good idea. Maybe I should do it April 1st. I'm going to change all my passwords. Maybe April 1st. I don't know. Tomorrow's a busy day. I'm on a couple other podcasts tomorrow. I'm doing a lot of work tomorrow on other people's shows. I got one on the Chris Bryant channel on Thursday. We're going to do a debate about protesting and welfarism versus abolition. And then on Wednesday, so that was Thursday, on Wednesday we're going to do a show on watching humans with 4 of it's going to be panel discussion. It's going to be very exciting, I think. But those are animal rights channels. Maybe not everyone here will be interested, but I'm going to be on other people's channels this week, and I'm excited about it. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to change all my passwords this week. It's a lot of passwords, but I want to do it for sure. You have a new email account with Proton. I've been thinking about Proton Mail. I was thinking about Proton Mail when I found out about Kashyap Patel. Like, what? Cash email password 1234. Are you sure it wasn't arachnophobia 1234? I thought because it was Spider Cash is his nickname on the pornog sites. Spider Cash, what is that, man? I wish I had 8 hands. I wish I had 8 hands right now. Why would he call himself Spider Cash? Spider Cash. How did he make that nickname up? Man, my nickname was always Captain because Sky, Jack, and Morgan, a lot of people call me Captain. Over the years, I don't usually tell people, but I always thought it was funny. People call me Captain Jack, Captain Morgan, Captain Sky. It's always been a funny thing. I never served or anything, but I always thought Captain. Sometimes I've been given captain hats and stuff. My name kind of sounds like a pirate name, so yarg, all that. Captain. Spider Cash, though, that's a name you give yourself, right? That's not I didn't make up my nickname. I've never made up a nickname for myself. And more power to you. I wish I had that confidence, man. I want that kind of confidence. My nickname is Spider Cash. Man, I love it. Good morning, Tiger. What's your nickname, Cool Grandma 52? Is that all 52 weeks a year? 52 weeks a year, Cool Grandma. Grandma, she's cool 52 weeks a year. Oh, man. No, Johnny, it's a method to add security, for heck's sakes. No, no one have ever worked in it here. Look, I was thinking about Proton Mail because I thought, man, I've been thinking about trying to de-Googling for a while, like get off of all Google stuff for a while, but it's really hard with YouTube, But Proton Mail is supposed to be, if you pay for it, like very, very private and no one's looking at your email. And I'm thinking, man, maybe Proton Mail is the way to go. Proton mail. Why not? Yeah. Anyway, that's the show. We're talking about cash gap to tell today. No, cash is not even in the. I didn't even have any clips of cash. Today we've got a lot of stuff going on, though. We got lots of fun things happening. We're bombing Iran. Israel has just said that we're going to have a death penalty just for Palestinians, which reminded me, do you remember back in the day, America took Iraq. America conquered Iraq, invaded Iraq, was running Iraq, and the people of Iraq were like, no death penalty in our Constitution. They put it in the Constitution, and America was like, okay, except for one specific crime, though, right? And they're like, what's the specific crime? They're like, let's say you're a dictator that the Americans came and captured in a spider hole. Maybe they called it a spider hole. And so they executed, America had Iraq change their constitution to allow execution of basically just one guy, Saddam Hussein. They just wanted to hang Saddam Hussein on TV, and the United States didn't want to do it themselves because that wouldn't look. We used to care about stuff like that back then. We didn't want to kill him like by ourselves. We didn't want a bunch of Americans standing there like hanging the guy. We thought, yeah, let the Iraqis do it. And the Iraqis were like, we don't have death penalty in our constitution. It's against the Constitution. They're like, we're going to change the Constitution. That's how Israel is today. They're going to change the Constitution and allow the death penalty for Palestinians. How do you determine? Do you take a blood test? This person is 91% Palestinian. Does that mean that they're only 91% eligible for the death penalty? Is that how that works? Like, oh, they're only 50% Palestinian and they're 50% Irish. So can they only be hanged halfway? You can only hang them half. You only do halfway on the electric chair. He's only mostly dead. He's only mostly dead. Maybe that's what it'll be. You kill them. If you're half Palestinian, half Irish, they only kill you half. It's a 50%. They put you in a coma for like a few months. They're like, that's enough. You're halfway dead. I think that's how that works. They just zap you on the electric chair. Yeah, they just tase you. Just a really long tase. Is that how it works? Tech bros want hive mind society. Yeah, what kind of hive mind is that? I think we already have it. What's it going to be? Spider cache, spider hole. There's a connection. Yeah, that's what that just came out in stream of consciousness. Spider cache out of the spider hole. Yeah, it's in the Quran. It's in the Quran. What, half killing people, half execution? Half execution. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about Israel just said that they're going to be killing Palestinians, man. They got a new death penalty on the books just for Palestinians. That's a little weird, right? It's a little weird, everybody, right? Is that weird? Is that weird to anybody else? We're only going to have that'd be like the United States passing a constitutional law saying, well, we're making slavery illegal unless you arrest a black man and put him in prison, then you can use him as a slave. If he's black. Like, I mean, United States, that'd be like United States having in their constitution that a black man's only worth 3/5 of a white man. I wonder, but it'd be weird to do that in the 21st century, right? Like, you know that the 3/5 compromise is in our constitution. It's gross that in our constitution, the one that's the version of our constitution that's in the Trump Bible has the 3/5 compromise where a black man is worth 3/5 of a white man. And, well, it's weird. It's disgusting. It's a blight on our history. But, you know, it was 250 years ago. If they did that in the 21st century, do you think we would care? The 16th Amendment. 16th Amendment, anybody? I was talking about the 13th Amendment, but yeah. I get a little fuzzy on the 16th. But I know most of the 27 amendments. I even know the 28th Amendment, the one that got passed and everyone voted for and wanted the Equal Rights Act, and then they never put it in the Constitution. That's pretty cool. The Fifth Amendment, due process. You like that one? Let's not have a quiz. Maybe I should do quizzes on the. You know what? now that YouTube has the ability to do quizzes on these live streams, I'm going to start putting quizzes about the American Constitution just because let's learn together. Let's have some civics, let's do it. Slavery is legal for prisoners, property of the state. Bingo, Wild David. As a matter of fact, in California during our last election, we all voted to see if we wanted to make slavery illegal in California. And you know what? It didn't pass. Slavery is still legal in California as the loophole of the 13th Amendment. Thank you all for being here. My name is Skyjack Morgan. I'm an independent news and culture commentator and a free speech and critical thinking advocate, and I am happy to be alive. I'm glad that you're alive, you sexy MEFers. Thank you to the Sky City Rebels who keep the channel going. If you want to support independent media, I return the favor. We do tons of extra footage and extra content and extra streams and a guitar recital, and we get real cool stuff going on with just the members, just channel them, Sky City Rebels. You don't have to be a loner, you just have to be a rebel. Thank you so much. It's called cheap labor. That's right, it is called cheap labor. And you know what happens when you call a bunch of immigrants illegals and you say that they're all criminals and you put them into concentration camps? You know what they become? Immediately, according to our Constitution, you know what they become? All of them? Slaves. And guess what? Right now, you can make $1 a day if you're an immigrant in ICE detention center. If you're in one of the many American concentration camps, you yourself can become a slave. They'll pay you $1 a day. They'll lend you out to different. Corporations and ag concerns, and you can work for them and be a slave. Ain't that the American dream? Yeah, it definitely is. All right, thank you so much for being here, everybody.
And Iran trading attack.
Oh, look at Iran. We're still bombing. I thought this excursion would be over by now, didn't you?
President Trump posting an image to Truth Social with no
Oh, man, hold on a second. Before I watch more people dying, I got to drink my coffee. Death Wish coffee. It's stronger than other coffees, and I enjoy it immensely. I'm drinking my Death Wish coffee out of my Yeti cup because it's hot. The thing about drinking out of a Yeti cup, it's so cold on the outside, and then you drink it. Ooh, it's hot. It's hot. It's so hot. I want Yeti to... If anybody knows anyone at Yeti, would you tell them that my French press is broken AF and I need a new one, and I want them to give me a Yeti one because this one's broken. I need a new Yeti one. I'm trying to get one for free. I'll do a product placement every day. I'll talk about my Yeti cup, but really I want Death Wish coffee. It's stronger than other coffees. It's something that I need to face the day as a rebel. I need to rebel against the world with my Death Wish coffee. Woo! Clip that, huh? We should clip that.
Description of what appears to be a U.S. strike in the city of Isfahan. Video circulating online showing the massive explosion lighting up the night sky. The Wall Street Journal reporting the Iranian military installation was struck with 2,000-pound bunker buster bombs.
Ooh. Hold on a second. For the most part, the prisoner labor is critical to the basic survival of themselves. Interesting. Why do we incarcerate so many people in this country if that's the case? Why do we have so many basic survival of the people that we are incarcerating for profit? Think about what you're saying. We're taking people, a lot of times for petty crime, nothing. They've done nothing. You could be kept for over a year just because you can't afford bail. Literally, you could be legally innocent and still be used as a slave in this country. You've been convicted of nothing. So, but just, we need to use you as a slave. I mean, we need to have you. We can't do it. I mean, the thing is, prison labor shouldn't be slave labor. That's ridiculous. You don't belong to anybody. You still aren't owned. You're simply incarcerated. You could be rehabilitated. You could be learning your lesson. Maybe you'll be there for the rest of your life, and you just need something to do. But slave labor, well, I'm against slavery. How's everybody feel about slavery these days? You guys all right with it? Most people seem to be perfectly okay with it.
And this is the oil tanker hit by an Iranian drone strike Monday. Fire breaking out on the vessel docked in a UAE port. A reminder the Strait of Hormuz remains effectively closed. Iran also sending a wave of missiles over Israel a day after this strike on this oil refinery in the country's north. A fireball erupting from the site. And now, with the prolonged war hitting the global economy, pressure is mounting on the Trump administration as American service members become targets. These new
Man, once they start saying things like prolonged war, now it's prolonged. You don't want to be in a prolonged war, right? We want to be in nice little short wars where we just kill the president or something. The president of other countries, guys. Everyone else's president's fair game, not our president. Our president, no. Other people's presidents, that's fair game. They're religious leaders, whatever we want to do. I know in the past it's been kind of poo-poo to carry out just willy-nilly assassinations of foreign leaders, but this is a new world. This is what we do now. We go to your country, we take the leader of your country, and we abscond with him. We abscond. We're absconders. It's a nice word for pirate. We're pirates. Well, the hard timers, murdered, problems with children, they can break rock all day for all I care. Pause a track. How do you know what they did, what they didn't do? Hardened murderer. How do you know? The people get ground beneath the wheels of justice all the time. Sometimes you never know. Everybody had something in their life. By the way, I see a lot of people talking about the taxpayers and the judges and everything. Man, if the taxpayers don't want to pay to have all these prisoners, then they should figure out a better way to prevent crime. Like, I don't know, collecting a bunch of taxes from the rich and just giving it to poor people so they stop robbing people. How about that? That's a good start right there. Like, it really isn't that tough. People have enough for medicine and food. Most of the crime goes away. So if you don't like crime, it's a real easy way. Get enough apartments for everybody. Get enough food and clothing and shelter for everybody. You'll be fine. Yeah, lot less crime. And then you'll only have to worry about crimes of passion and real weirdos like Donald Trump, who was a co-conspirator of Jeffrey Epstein. Stuff like that. Then we can actually concentrate on the really bad guys, too. And stop worrying about, like, people who, I don't know, rob people at ATMs for $200 so that they can afford, albuterol for their asthmatic children. That'd be cool. Like, let's get the kids albuterol. Let's do that. It's cheaper. It's cheaper than incarcerating millions of people every year.
Images show a U.S. radar jet destroyed by an Iranian attack. Pieces of that U.S. Air Force E-3 Sentry scattered among debris at the Prince Sultan Air Base in Saudi Arabia. That attack injuring 15 American soldiers, with 5 in serious condition. As the administration sends thousands of troops into the region, President Trump is sending mixed messages on the war's future, saying...
Mixed messages? I mean, Donald Trump's the king of mixed messages. He hates Putin. He loves Putin. He doesn't want Putin oil in Cuba. He wants Putin's oil in Cuba. He thinks no one should buy Iranian oil. Now anybody can buy Iranian oil. There's no embargo on Iran now. We're at war with Iran, but there's no embargo on their oil. It's so weird. So weird. Why do we keep doing this?
Negotiations to end it are going well, but warning that the U.S. will be blowing up and completely obliterating Iranian energy infrastructure and drinking water plants if Iran doesn't reopen the critical Strait of Hormuz soon. Concerns growing that the threat targeting civilian infrastructure is a violation of international humanitarian law. George pressing Secretary of State Marco Rubio about Trump's words.
Rick James. Rick James. Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that because we've been mentioning it every day. Rick James, bitch. 13 people died. 13 people died at Abbey Gate, extracting American soldiers and others, personnel, out of Afghanistan during the pullout. And 13 people, American soldiers, are now dead. 300 American soldiers have been wounded. There are 2 that might not make it. So what do you mean there were more Americans? I have a person right here, Rick James, saying more people died pulling out of Afghanistan. Wrong! Wrong again, Rick James. Wrong. Right now, the death toll is identical, but the wounded far outweigh on this little excursion. The excursion has killed way more people now. 13. They're talking about. Also, I forget about Lebanon and Yemen, but we've killed so many people at this point. Thousands and thousands have been murdered. A school full of children, 161 little girls who did nothing wrong, dead, melted alive, melted to death. And you're going to talk about Abbey Gate? Sorry, Charlie. Sorry. No more mention of Abbey Gate, please. A little ridiculous at this point when you're melting children to death with Tomahawk missiles trying to blame the Iranians for it. Nope. Sorry, buddy boy. You maggers. You maggers over and over. And who did the deal? Yeah, who did that deal to pull out of Afghanistan? Who made that deal? Yep. Donald J. Trump. Did Biden do a great job extracting people? I don't know. I don't know how you would do it differently. It did suck, though. A suicide bomber killed 13 Americans. A suicide bomber. Kind of hard to defend yourself against suicide bombers. But, hey, maybe they could have. Maybe they shouldn't. Maybe, I don't know. That was a long time ago. Could have been done differently. Don't compare it to what's happening in Iran right now. It makes you look like a moron. Okay. Hate speaker Sargon of Akkad. Thank you for supporting the channel. I appreciate you very much. Tom Billieu says Trump moves are always guided by the interest rates of 10-year bonds. I don't understand it fully, but apparently he's surfing the waves, threading the needle, so to speak, gambling. That's what I've heard. Yeah. And not just him, but his more of his kids and stuff. Like that he's kind of being marionetted by his investor friends and his kids who are saying, hey, if you say this will happen to these prices and we can invest. But then when you flip-flop the other way, it'll go back up and we'll make a bunch of money. Yeah, they're buying the dip, so to speak. It's like shitty crypto bro tactics. Everyone can see it. Not to mention on like Poly Market, there's all sorts of people betting on like how many bombs will be dropped and shit like that. That's all insider stuff. It's all, you could be someone like Donald Trump or Pete Hegseth betting on how many bombs you'll drop today in Yemen and win lots of money. It's a little disgusting. Not a little. It's horribly disgusting. It's a disgusting world we're living in. I'm living in Donald Trump's America. What are you going to do? Oh, now it's illegals. Rick James. When that didn't work about the Abu Ghraib, you want to go straight to illegal. Have illegals are killing Americans too, you know. Again, you don't know how to math. You don't know how to math, do you? Math. You're not much of a mathlete, are you? American citizens are far more likely to kill Americans than anybody from any foreign country. It's called white-on-white crime. If you're a white person, you're about 85% chance you're going to be killed by another white person. If you're killed at all, you'll be murdered by another white person or yourself. You'll do it yourself. So I know that's who you mean when you say Americans. So let's just, you're about 80% chance if you're a black man to get killed by a black person. If you're an Asian person, you're 80% chance going to get killed by an Asian person. Just the way it is. Sorry, buddy. Sorry. When we're sending people to go kill little girls over in Iran and American soldiers are being killed and you try to justify it by saying illegals, though. Sorry, Rick James. You're just revealing yourself as a cult member and you're only in the cult because you're racist. Isn't that embarrassing for you?
Of the objectives.
Well, I think the first point the president makes is he prefers diplomacy. As I said, those efforts are nascent. There is messages being relayed back and forth, some conversations going on, including through intermediaries, and he always prefers that.
But at the same time, the administration is claiming a deal with Iran could come, quote, shortly. All as Iran...
Oh, yeah, Rick James, your sister. Okay, put her name in the chat. I'll Google her. We'll look it up.
Repeatedly insists there are no direct talks with the U.S., saying the president's 15-point plan includes many, quote, requests that are excessive, unrealistic, and illogical. And overnight, the Financial Times is out with a report that a broker for Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth attempted to make a major investment in defense companies just weeks before the U.S. and Israel launched strikes against Iran. The Financial Times is reporting it alleges that the broker for Hegseth at Morgan Stanley reached out to BlackRock in February about making what the paper calls a, quote, multi-million-dollar investment in a fund linked to defense and security assets, including some of the Defense Department's biggest customers. Now, Morgan...
That's totally normal, right? Totally normal. Have Pete Hegseth make investments in aerospace and basically just the military-industrial complex, right? Hey, I wonder why Pete Hegseth did that. It's a little lame, Pete. Like, you called yourself the Department of War. Maybe you should have done that like back in January of 2025. That would have been a better move. But you did it right before we started bombing them? That's a little weird. Little strange, isn't it?
And Stanley has not responded to ABC News. BlackRock had no comment. And Financial Times reports that the investment was not ultimately made. And this morning, Pentagon spokesperson Sean Parnell denying the allegation, posting on X, this allegation is entirely false and fabricated. Neither Secretary Hegseth nor any of his representatives approached BlackRock about such an investment. George, the Pentagon is now demanding a retraction.
Man, Rivers, thanks.
First, we go to trading. See us live.
What do you think? Should someone like Pete Hegseth, should Pete Hegseth be allowed to invest in BlackRock and other disgusting places, and be able to invest in Lockheed Martin? Do you think that makes sense? That the head of the Department of Defense, or the Department of War now, he calls himself the Department of War, and he should be able to invest in the same companies that's called a conflict of interest. You couldn't do that when I worked at casinos. You're not allowed to do that. Like, I couldn't invest in Brown-Forman because Brown-Forman makes Jack Daniels. So if I invested in Brown-Forman and then I was making decisions for MGM Resorts to buy more Brown-Forman, that would be what's called a conflict of interest. It's illegal. It's at the very least unethical. But hey, Pete Hegseth, a Christian man. I'm sure Jesus Christ looks kindly on people who play games like that with lives. Hey, I'm planning on going to murder people. Lots of children are going to die. I guess I better invest in the company who manufactures the bombs that I'm about to use to vaporize children. Hail Jesus. Hell, I'm a good Christian man. Hail Jesus, hail Jesus, hail Jesus.
In Israel with the very latest. Trey, good morning.
Yeah, hey guys, good morning. Just last hour, President Trump issuing a new ultimatum to European countries about the Strait of Hormuz. President Trump taking to Truth Social to say, quote, all of those countries that can't get jet fuel because of the Strait of Hormuz, like the United Kingdom, which refused to get involved in the decapitation of Iran, I have a suggestion for you. Number one, buy from the U.S. We have plenty. And number two, build up.
You don't like it, buy from us.
Some delayed courage. Go to the Strait.
I like that too. I love that too. How is that? That's so... Donald Trump has just gone full drug dealer now. He's like, he kills the rival drug dealer, and he's like, oh, looks like you can't get heroin from him anymore if you don't like it. Get it from me. If you don't like it, go ahead and steal it from that guy. I don't give a shit. Yeah. What the hell? Who talks like this? This is an American president? This is an American president? If you don't like it, go take it. Go take it from Iran yourself. It's a free-for-all. If you don't like it, buy it from us or go steal it yourself from the Iranians. What the hell? Who talks like this, man?
And just take it. You'll have to start learning how to fight for yourself. The USA won't be there to help you anymore, just like you weren't there for us. The president goes on to say,
you weren't there for us? You've been shitting on them for months, for a year. Pete Hegseth in that Signal Gate was talking about how much he hates Europe and how they don't do anything and screw them. You guys weren't there for me when I needed you most. You didn't tell any of your allies that you were going to go bomb a school full of children in Iran to start this whole thing off. It was a surprise, like Pearl Harbor. We're just like the Japanese in 1941. They were the heroes of the story. They were very surprising, those guys. Bigly surprise. Bigly.
Iran has been essentially decimated. The hard part is done. Go get your own oil. Now, overnight, the United States hit an Iranian ammunition depot, reportedly with 2,000-pound bunker buster bombs. That, according to the Wall Street Journal. The president released some video on Truth Social overnight.
I love the voices on Fox News so much. The 200-pound bunker buster. He said, go get it yourselves in Iran. You don't like it? Buy it from us or get it from Iran. And just follow me on Truth Social right now.
Showing the massive amount of destruction outside the city of Isfahan. While the U.S. and Israel are ramping up pressure on the Islamic Republic, President Trump is still offering Iran a chance at a diplomatic solution. Iran has continued its ballistic missile attacks against Israel with 2 waves targeting central Israel last night and another 2 cluster munition strikes this morning against Tel Aviv. With a focus on Iran, Israel has expanded ground operations.
Have you heard the rumors that Benjamin Netanyahu is dead? Have you seen this? Like all the AI stuff? And like the artifacts of AI, people are analyzing the video that we have of Benjamin Netanyahu since the bombing of Tel Aviv, and they continue to bomb Tel Aviv. Do you think Benjamin Netanyahu's alive? Not in you? Do you think he's not in you? Do you think Netanyahu's alive? Yahoo! How are my chats deleted, but Rick James can come in here and just say anything likely? Your chat wasn't deleted, hate speaker. You said it was, but I looked at it. It wasn't deleted. I've never seen your chat get deleted. James can come in here and just say literally anything for a reaction. Where's Ben live? I'm a find bro. No. Ben, did you delete hate speaker's comment? Come on. I don't think you did. I saw your comment, man. Thank you so much, Hate Speaker Sargon of Akkad, for funding the channel. I appreciate you. Typical California Democrat. Yeah, dude. Yeah, bruh. See, Ben saying he didn't do it. He didn't do it, man. I don't know. You told me it was deleted. I went back to the chats. It wasn't deleted. I think you might be mistaken. I'm not saying you're wrong. I think you might be mistaken. I thought I was wrong once, but I was mistaken.
Against Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. The military says dozens of militants were killed there in recent days. And today, Israel's defense minister, Israel Katz, announced that Israel is building a buffer zone in southern Lebanon up to the Litani.
A buffer zone? Let's build a buffer zone in Lebanon, baby.
The IDF announced that 4 additional Israeli soldiers were killed yesterday, bringing the total since the Lebanon operation began to 10 killed. On Monday, a funeral was held for one of those soldiers, just 19 years old. Now the region waiting to see...
Hey, you know, I play the stylophone every time we get a super chat. So, Wild David, make it rain, baby. We'll play stylophone all day. We'll turn this whole live stream into a concert, baby doll. Let's do it.
What will be said at this briefing at the Pentagon, as once again, President Trump is offering the Iranian regime diplomacy.
Like, in that coffin with the Israeli flag, like Benjamin Netanyahu could be in that coffin for all I know. I don't know who's in there, but I keep on hearing rumors that he ain't with us no more, that he is pushing daisies, kick the bucket, you know, not sucking air, you know, he sleeps with the slaves, you know, he's under the 6 feet under, you know, 86. I've heard very convincing claims that Benjamin Netanyahu is not among the living. I don't know. Would it surprise you? Would it surprise you if tomorrow you found out now he's been dead for a month? Wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me.
If they do not take his offer, officials say...
Ben says he's still alive. How do you know, Ben, if he's still alive?
This war will escalate. Guys, so...
Like, Spider Cash is probably still alive. Spider Cash just can't die. Spider Cash has the strength of 10 men. Spider Cash. Fuck.
Trey, we saw the attack on the Gulf states and on Israel. But can you compare the number of attacks now as opposed to 1 week ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago?
The U.S. and Israeli campaign against the Iranian regime has been very successful in going not just after the launching positions of these missiles and drones, as we've seen in new video from U.S. Central Command, but also, importantly, going after the production sites. What President
U.S. Central Command is releasing videos of us bombing the launch sites.
Trump is ordering here is the decapitation not only of Iran's military leadership, but also of their production lines, so that in the future they're not able to threaten U.S. forces or allies across the region. And we have seen those videos of decimation to the Iranian regime.
Decimation.
Country, though, and that is part of the reason that these strikes continue, often on an hour.
Decimation, decapitation, decimation, obliteration. We're going to defamation. There's a lot of defamation of the obliteration and this decimation. Welcome to the station. This is weird. It's getting weird. It's getting weird, everybody. Do you think they think this is normal? Talking about decapitation. We're decapitating America. The decapitators. I don't remember. I remember people talking about last time we were bombing the Gulf states. We did it, I think we said shock and awe back then. Shock and awe. We wanted to put lots of bombs. Shock and awe. Let's really surprise them with how many bombs we have. Nobody knows how many bombs we have in America. We got so many bombs and nobody knows it. We got to show them. Shock and awe. But these days now it's all about decapitation. We're going to kill them all. All their leaders will be dead. Seems strange. I don't remember this ever happening. Ejaculation. We're going to have an ejaculation all over the drone station and the American implementation of the excursion evacuation. On the obliteration of the decapitation. Yes, we're the decimation. It's weird. Nothing has been seen. Pete Hegseth believes in the creation. All American allies have abandoned Trump and his war in Iraq. Well, I mean, let's face it, this is a little ridiculous. Annihilation. It's just weird. What's the point? That's the point of war, right? Death, right? They don't break bread. Well, is that the point of war? Death! I don't know. I don't think the point of war is death. The point of war is struggle over resource. It's always been that way. Every civil war has been about resources. Every international war has been about resource. Every war, even like the old anarchist wars in like in Native American populations, was always about resource. It wasn't about killing. You don't just want to go kill the other guy. We're not a bunch of weird, even in chimpanzee populations, they don't want to just go kill all the other chimpanzees. They want to control the fruit. You know, they don't want those chimpanzees eating all their fruit. Like, it's just, no, the point of war is not death. No, it's not. I know it makes, lately, because they're trying to make it look like a video game, they're trying to make it look like war is all about killing and death. Yeah, get your boners up and let's go kill some fucks. But it's not actually. No, it's about securing resources and making money for the already rich. That's what it's about. That's what it's always been about since the beginning of time. But it gets people really hard when you say, like, death and destruction, annihilation, decapitation these days. It used to be a solemn thing. Like, when we went to war, it was like, this aggression will not stand. We have to liberate Kuwait. Got to do it. And can't wait. It wouldn't be prudent not to do it at this juncture. We got to, Saddam Hussein, we got to do it. Got to do it. That was my George H.W. Bush. And then George W. Bush was always like, they're hiding Osama bin Laden. We got to make sure we get him. Of course, he wasn't in Afghanistan. He was in, Pakistan. But we never been at war with Pakistan for some reason. We only have clashes of civilization with countries whose resources we want to control. Same thing with, like, George W. Bush. Time for regime change. Tried to kill my father, and he's got weapons of mass destruction. And he never found weapons of mass destruction because it was never about weapons of mass destruction. It was about, say it with me, kids, oil. It was about oil. Yeah, we have to liberate. Gotta do it. Gotta do it. Gotta liberate Kuwait oil. Yeah, gotta do it. Exactly. Mission accomplished, baby. Mission accomplished. Yeah, Bringo. Going to Mars, bitches.
Hourly basis, and despite the fact that the Iranians can still get off ballistic missile fire and drone attacks against Israel and Gulf countries, their ability to do so and to resupply has been destroyed.
Be sure to
wow, there you go. It's been destroyed. It's been destroyed. Everything that we've obliterated. War won. If the war really was about killing, though, I guess we won it. I guess Donald Trump is right. We won. But war isn't about killing. Look at Vietnam. We killed 3 million of their guys. We lost 60,000 of ours. Who won that war? Who won Vietnam? Let me know in the chat. Who won the Vietnam War? It was a tie. Who won the Vietnam War?
And, I would love to believe.
Oh, no, yeah. I thought, wait, we're going to Mars. We're going to Mars, bitches. Don't you remember Dave Chappelle during the Persian Gulf War the Iraq invasion? It was called Black Bush. It was really funny. Dave Chappelle's show. And he's like, oil? Bitch, you cooking? You cooking? Who's talking about oil, bitch? I'm going to Mars. I know you guys want to talk about the economy. You want to talk about the war. I got that shit. I'm going to Mars, bitches. That's the same story every time, right? Have you forgot about the Artemis rocket going to the moon? I mean, on a mission of peace? Oh, but we're killing people. It's like schools full of children in Iran. Yeah, but we're going to the moon on a mission of peace.
Our president and our administration, but just like we talked about at the very beginning, everything that has come out has been a bait and switch, complete 180 lie.
Oh.
If only anyone had warned you guys that it was all a lie. Hi again, everybody. It's 5 o'clock.
Leave it to we just watch Fox News. It's so funny, the tone of voice. Fox News like, we obliterated obliterated them. Fuck yeah. And over here they're like, I wish someone told you guys that Donald Trump was a liar. I wish somebody told you. That's so funny. Jesus, no one wins in war. Sure, the rich people always win. The rich win. Elon Musk is winning at war. He wins. We lost the Vietnam War. Yeah, the Vietnam War wasn't good. Was not good. The Viet Cong won. I don't know. They're still there. What did Bruce Springsteen say? He was there fighting off the Viet Cong. They're still there, but he's all gone. They're still there, but he's all gone. Kind of sad. Vietnam. My uncle went to Vietnam, came back, and he was not okay. He's never been okay. Was never okay. He was always. He was hurt by the Vietnam War. He was a Marine in Vietnam, my uncle. And he told me lots of stories about Vietnam. Little parts of stories. Usually Vietnam vets, they're not big talkers, about what happened over there. But they tell you little things where you can kind of connect the dots, and it's tragic. I had one uncle go to Korea and one uncle go to Vietnam. That's the thing about Americans. We all got people who fought in these wars, and yet we still do them. What the hell? It's like every generation, we got to have another, let's go again. Let's go die for some rich people. I got a friend who he's really maxi on the war in Iran, and I'm going, we're going to free the people over there. And I'm like, you think we're freeing the people over there? We're not freeing them. You think Donald Trump, Elon Musk give a shit about the people of Iran? Is that what you think? Is that what you think Pete Hegseth gives a flying fuck about political freedom of the average Iranian? Is that what you think? That's a weird belief structure. If you think that Pete Hegseth, of all people, cares even one iota about the well-being of Iranian children or Iranian protesters or Iranian free thinkers, if you think that, I've got some meme coin to sell you. It's called Melania coin. It's going to be worth a bundle. Buy some Melania coin. It's great. It's the best meme coin out there.
New York, the man who once insisted he could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and not lose any of those people, his supporters, now appears determined to put that theory to the test. Because this afternoon, under the 10-ton weight of so many broken promises, too many to count, Donald Trump's MAGA coalition isn't just buckling. It's
It's okay to scream free Palestine. Okay, so the genocide happening in Iran. Which genocide are you talking about? Which genocide are you talking about? Are you talking about just Americans killing Iranians? Is that the genocide you're talking about? You're talking about the bombings from the Israelis? Who are you talking about? I'd love to know. I'd love to know what you mean.
literally falling apart in public. It starts but does not end with what's going on in Iran. And yes, while most of the self-professed...
Man, do you have George Soros's number? I would so much. I looked into what George Soros actually funds, and most of it is like think tanks and scholarships. Lots of scholarships. He funds lots of scholarships. I don't know how to get that money. I wish I could. Can I get him to retroact? Could he take care of my student loans? I want to get... call me, George. I'd love to shill. I don't know what you're selling, but I'll sell it. What does he sell? Like, I don't know what George Soros's agenda is. Because, liberalism? Is that the agenda? What do you think George Soros is really into? He's like 100 years old. What do you think that this guy's plan is?
MAGA crowd have engaged in a month-long game of follow the goalposts, from no new wars to this isn't actually a war to, well, it might be a war.
Ooh, we're talking about Iranians being murdered by the theocracy. Yeah, it's bad. I read this book a while back called Reading Lolita in Tehran. And I've had a couple girlfriends that were Iranian. I live in an area where there's lots of Iranian people. And anyway, yeah, it's horrible, right? It's horrible. Do you think that Pete Hegseth gives a shit about the women who aren't allowed to read naughty books in Iran? Do you think that Pete Hegseth, Mr. Let's burn all the books about the gays, do you think he gives a shit, any shits about the people of Iran? Mr. All of the unrighteous must be killed? That guy? Pete Hegseth. You think that he gives a shit about theocracy and the freedom of the Iranian people. I'm interested. I want to know what you think about that. Please tell me what you think. Do you think that Donald Trump or Pete Hegseth or Marco Rubio care about the people of Iran? Oh my God, bro. You're fucking... Please buy Melania coin. It's going to be huge. Please invest in Melania coin.
Or with Ernie boots on the ground to whatever the story is that Donald Trump tweets or posts or blurts out, a significant portion of non-MAGA Trump voters are coming to grips with that particular betrayal, among others, like the economy. Just open the newspaper or drive down the street, and here's what you will see. Financial markets and consumer sentiment dropping sharply.
Oof, $8.79 for diesel. Are you out of your mind? $8.79. Holy crap. How are we going to get anything? How are you going to get your dildos, man? How are your dildos going to get delivered at $8.79? How much is a Prime membership going to cost over at Amazon? They're going to double the price? Is the price going to go down for free shipping once this is all over? Do you think gas prices will go down? Think Donald Trump's going to lower your gas prices after he's done killing Iranians? Do you think that's what's going to happen? I'm curious. I'm worried. I don't know.
Then there's the price of gas. We don't have to tell you. It is soaring in one direction, up, 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 on the doorstep of spring and summer vacation season.
Holy shit.
Leaves and sneaky economic indicators. Consider the state of Las Vegas. Quote, the high...
Oh, man, I lived in Las Vegas. I don't want to. I'm so glad I don't live there right now. It's going to be empty. And then everyone's going to be like, oh, so stressed. I remember I was working in Las Vegas. You're already working 10 hours a day. And they're like, yeah, you're going to have to stay a little later. Yeah, we just fired all of the assistant managers. Yeah. Make sure you get your TPS reports on time.
Rollers are still rolling in, reports the New York Times. But for the tax brackets that don't usually fly by private jet, those budget-conscious customers appear to be staying away. It is a reality apparent even to prominent figures in right-wing media, people like the gentleman we showed you, right-wing podcaster Sean Ryan, what you just heard. Just today, former Fox News anchor Megyn Kelly shared yet another dismal and historically low poll for Donald Trump with her many, many listeners, describing it as a, quote, five-alarm fire, end quote. Meanwhile, another right-wing personality, Ann Coulter, posted this, quote, watching Fox News assure viewers that the Iran war is going super well and Trump is a total stud is like watching the same network assure viewers that Dominion Voting Systems rigged the 2020 election and that Trump was the winner, end quote. The top reply from Marjorie Taylor Greene to Ann Coulter was, quote, Fox News is now the fake news.
Hold on. Fox News is now the fake news, brainwashing boomers to support what we voted against.
Brainwashing boomers.
Ann Coulter wrote high crimes and misdemeanors about impeaching Bill Clinton. I remember learning about Ann Coulter in the 1990s. That's how she became famous, was during the Clinton scandal. She was like, he's got to go to jail. He's got to be impeached. She wrote a whole book about it. She wrote it like overnight. I don't know, before AI. She must have been like, she's very skinny. Maybe she like does a lot of, uppers, and she's like, she wrote that book so quickly, High Crimes and Misdemeanors, and she went on the William F. Buckley Jr. show, and she argued with him about it very vehemently, that he is the devil, that Bill Clinton, he's got to go. He's the devil, that liar. She said that lying was against the law, and that's any lie that a president tells, they need to get impeached for it and go to jail. Now she's on the case of Donald J. Trump. I don't know, man. I wouldn't want to piss off Ann Coulter. She was crazy. She was like a pit bull when it came to Bill Clinton. But hey, someone in the chat is saying that it's going to cost $20 in 3 months. That sounds like an over-under proposition. Pause the track. Can we get an over-under in the chat? Do you think it's going to go over $20 this summer or stay under $20 by July, by 4th of July, let's call it. By 4th of July, Positrack says it'll be $20 a gallon. Do you think it'll be $20 a gallon? Who's going to take the over? Who's going to take the under? I'm taking the over just because I think I'm taking the over. I'm taking the over. Only to 15. You're taking the under? I think it's going to be the over. Over $20. It's going to be great. I think it's going to be great. I love Acid House comes in here. You came in here with ad hominem attacks, you loser, and now you want to be like, oh, no ad hominems. I'm above it. You fucking piece of garbage. You piece of garbage, coward, crybaby, magger. You magger crybabies. Could I get some crybaby maggers in the chat, please? Please, can I get some crybaby? I need some wet floor signs for this magger I got in the chat all of a sudden. Oh, no. I don't want any ad hominem attacks. Literally, the first chat this moron put in my chat was an ad hominem attack. But don't attack me, you pearl clutching simp. You pearl clutching snitch. My God, how embarrassing you are. How disgusting. How disgusting you maggers are. Holy shit. You make me sick to my stomach. Holy shit. $15. You think they're taking the under? Looks like most people taking the over. Yeah, $1.60 a gallon will be common. When? What year, David Bork? God, I need some wet floor signs for this guy. Jesus, people gonna be slipping. People gonna be slipping on this floor if we don't get some wet floor signs out here. Holy shit, man.
To support what we voted against, end quote. A new analysis in The Atlantic puts it into context and perspective. Quote, the MAGA faithful are overwhelmingly sticking with the president, not so for everyone else. A number of new polls show that some of the voting blocs that helped power Trump's 2024 win have lost faith in him. His support among young people has cratered, so has his approval among Latinos. According to one survey, more independent voters disapprove of the president now than they did at any point in his first term. The coalition that put Trump back in the White House no longer appears to exist. So much for shooting someone on Fifth Avenue. That is where we start the hour with Princeton University.
Well, he could have shot someone on Fifth Avenue, but starting a war in Iran, I guess it's worse, right? I don't know. It seems weird.
Professor, political analyst Eddie Glad is here. Also joining us, political analyst, host of the Bulwark podcast, Tim Miller is here.
Tim Miller.
Writer at The Atlantic.
You know, Tim Miller's a good podcast host and everything. How do I get Tim Miller? I need to take these log cabin, like I don't have a shtick. Just Mr. Anarchist hates both sides. Both sides hate me. I hate Republicans. I hate Democrats. I'm about free speech and critical thinking. What are you about? Tim Miller's a log cabin Republican, which just means gay Republican. Like, how the hell? Man, I wish I had a bet. I need a shtick. Could someone give me a good shtick? I need to be a good $15 in California, maybe, says Thorne. I don't know. It's already almost at $9 in California. $9. And July, if this war ain't over by July 4th, we might see $20. We might see $20. What's with the ad hominem attacks? What's with the ad hominems? What's with all of the tu quoque arguments here?
Video podcast host David Frum is here. Tim Miller, I start with you. I was going to say I don't derive any pleasure. I derive immense pleasure in watching all these people who dragged Trump over the finish line in 2024 say, oh my God, OMG, we don't want this. Because, again, I don't know what's in their heads and hearts. Some of them may actually feel some responsibility to their listeners. Again, I do not know. But all of them realize that a dude at 33% and dropping is a commercial loser.
Tell me what you think, Tim Miller, log cabin Republican.
Yeah, that's right. On Friday's show, when you were on a well-deserved vacation, Nicole, I told Alicia that I'm granting us as like a never-Trump priest. Everybody gets 5 minutes a month of gloating. I told you so, smiling. And then, unfortunately, we have to actually talk and communicate to those folks and offer them.
Yeah, like 5 minutes seems excessive, right? Like I take your point, and you can't mock them because like for whatever the reason, they're not telling the truth, and that's a good thing.
Right. For sure. And yeah, we did warn them that they shouldn't trust Donald Trump. But it's also true that Trump lied to them and Trump betrayed them. And I think that's an important message for Democrats and anyone in the pro-democracy movement going forward is that these voters were betrayed by him. And that he made them a series of promises that he's not followed through on. He doesn't care about the forgotten man. He doesn't care about prices. He doesn't care about not sending young men to war. What he cares about is his new ballroom and the new armrests on the Kennedy Center. He's been talking about that a lot. And he cares about enriching his family and his kids. And that's just, those are all just facts. Like, that is what has happened. He's betrayed them. And that's why his numbers are lowering, because some people notice it. I don't think it's that surprising that the last people into the boat are kind of the first ones out and the first ones to notice it. And that was a lot of these kind of manosphere podcasters, but also younger folks and more working class folks that weren't quite as engaged as the Kamala Harris coalition was, people who had legitimate frustrations with, cost of living and had fond, maybe mistaken memories of, the pre-COVID economy. And like, that kind of explains it. I think those folks.
Yeah, that's like I was talking about it yesterday. I think it's really sad that there's a lot of maggers out there. They're just waking up, and I feel like I want to welcome you with open arms, but I feel also in 2026, if you're just now waking up, like, bro, you're slow. You're a little slow on the take. Like, it kind of reminds me about Democrats at the very end. They're like, oh, well, looks like Joe Biden does have a cognitive issue. Yeah, no fucking shit, man. I was saying that for 3 years before that debate. 3 years, I was like, look at this old piece of shit. What the fuck are we doing? Having we get this gerontocracy. I'm sick of all these old people in charge. I love my old people. If you're over 65, I love you. Keep watching, please. I just don't think you should be president of the United States. What you got to do at 65 with someone who's 18? When I meet an 18-year-old, I'm like, shit, man, I barely know what the fuck you're saying. But a 65-year-old, like okay, I'm almost 50. And I could talk to an 80-year-old and kind of get where they're coming from. And I can talk to a 20-year-old and kind of get where they're coming from. But the closer I get to 80 and the further I get from 20, the less I have in common with the 20. I can't relate anymore. It's getting harder already. You see what I'm saying? So how can I represent them as president of the United States if I'm 80 years old? Even at 65, it's getting close. I feel like 65's got to be that cutoff, right? Because you know how it is. If you're 65 watching right now, like if you talk to an 18-year-old, it's hard to know what the hell they're talking about, right? Because their problems aren't your problems. Their concerns are not your concerns. You don't have much in common. It's hard to find common ground. There is common ground. That's why we have sports and TV and movies and books and stuff like that. There is common ground. But to lead them and understand like the problems that they're going to face in their life, you're not going to get it all. Some of it you will, thank God. I mean, I've had so many good friends that were older that really gave me kind of clarity of what to look out for as I got older. And I hope that I have more older friends as I go through this crazy life of mine. But to have someone shaping policy for the nation of 18-year-olds who are going to face challenges that we can't foresee, it doesn't make sense to me. Does it make sense to you? What do you guys think in the chat? Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear what you think about that. Do we have anybody over 65 that can either disagree or tell me what they think? I mean, I'd love to know what you think. Yes, Sky wants no government. That's exactly right. I think government's a crime. Government's unethical. We're all immigrants. That's true. What about 80-year-old billionaires totally can relate to every other rich dick? That's exactly my point. 80-year-old billionaires? That's my whole point. We can't have any more 80-year-old billionaires or millionaires or fucking 80-year-olds, period. Until Americans are living to 150 years old, I don't want to see another 80-year-old on the ballot. At any place, I mean, especially the worst ones are the ones that have been in office for like 40 years. They got in when they were 40 and now they're 80. And you're like, Chuck Grassley? Shit, man, you've been here for 20 years. Get the fuck out, Chuck Grassley. He's 90 years old. I mean, what is going on there? He was too old in his first term. That's exactly my point, Barbara Garrity. I was hoping I'd have some 65-year-olds in here, somebody who's over 65 who had something to say about it. But I'd love to get someone with a little bit of age on them, see what their perspective is on this, because I think that makes sense. In the limit should be maximum 75. You think 75? Hey, I'm negotiable. I'm negotiable on this. 75. That means by their second term, they'll be 83. Giopo. Just so you know. Second term, they'll be 83 years old. Will David, you're 67. Do you disagree or agree? How do you feel about it? Will, I can't see any other chats from you. Oh, you are not an immigrant if you were born in America. Yeah, but I'm a descendant of immigrants. 65 posit track. Just a 93-year-old billionaire giggling and laughing about and breathing weird at Senate hearings. Oh shit. Is that a Chuck Grassley? Sounds like Chuck Grassley. 65 should be the max. 55 for the first day. Man, 55 is like perfect. That's like the perfect spot for a president. Because like I'm 47 and I would never want to be president, first of all. I would love to be a congressman. I think that would be a really good job for me, representing my people, representing my neighbors, you know. But president, top cop, I just don't understand why people want that job. But if you're going to be the leader of the free, I think you should be about 55. I think that's like perfect. That's like right there. A 55-year-old is mature enough and understands. If I'm 65, knows what it is, he can imagine what it is, or she can imagine what it's going to be 65. Even 80. At 55, you kind of know what 80 looks like. You probably got some 80-year-old friends. At 55, you probably have some 20-year-olds in your life. You probably got some kids, some people, some young people, you know. But at 80, do you think Donald Trump has a real close relationship with Barron? He knows what Barron's going through. JFK was he 46? I think he was the youngest president, right? Yeah, 60. Okay, 60. We're going to skip this.
They got something like 3,000 people at the public square in Hagerstown on Saturday. And in Hagerstown, the banner for their...
I'm sorry. I apologize. I try not to put her on, but, she's in the... I hardly ever have her on the show, but here she is. Rachel Maddow.
Protest wasn't just no kings, it was no kings, no camps. And that's because it's just outside Hagerstown where the Trump administration is trying to put one of their giant Trump prison camps to hold thousands of people indefinitely and without trial. And Hagerstown has been, and the rest of Maryland has been trying as hard as they can to stop it. So, and that led to kind of an interesting local dynamic. In Maryland, unlike in every other state where people were just expected to go to whatever No Kings protest was nearest to them, in Maryland, a grassroots group called the Maryland Coalition to Stop the Camps asked people in Maryland residents, to come from all over the state, specifically to Hagerstown, to show opposition to this particular prison camp that Trump is trying to put just outside that town. So it was no kings, no camps in Hagerstown, Maryland. And I got to say, there's a piece of that story that is worth watching right now that Kristi Noem has been ousted as Trump's Homeland Security Secretary, and this new guy, the former Oklahoma Senator Mark Wayne Mullen, is taking over. One of the things that has emerged about these warehouse purchases they're making for the Trump prison camps is that for some reason, the Trump administration appears to be eager to wildly overpay for these warehouses that they're buying.
Why?
Even before they start spending to
Who
convert
owns
them into
them?
prison camps. So like in Salt Lake City, they paid nearly 50% more than the property appeared to be worth. This warehouse facility was assessed at roughly $97 million. For some reason, the Trump administration decided they wanted to pay over $145 million.
Waste, fraud, and abuse.
Why is that?
Why?
Roxbury, New Jersey. The warehouse they bought there was assessed at $62 million. The Trump administration came in and offered them $129 million.
They love
More than
camp.
double what you'd expect to pay for it. One of the warehouses they bought in Georgia was valued just last year at $26 million. The Trump administration came in and bought it for $129 million. Assessed at $26 million, they came in and paid $129 million. What's going on there? What's going on there?
What is going on there, Rachel?
Well, I will just point out two other things that are going on that might shed a little bit of light on this ultimately. Number one, the Washington Post obtained an internal memo that apparently circulated last week, the day after Mark Wayne was sworn in as the new head of Homeland Security. That memo reportedly said that the process of turning these warehouses into Trump prison camps is going to be slowed down.
Why?
That the proposals for these facilities are going to be revised, that they're going to start incorporating feedback from stakeholders.
Stakeholders?
Before they move ahead with these Trump prison camps. Why is that? Why are they slowing down? What's up with
Why
that?
are they doing that?
Turns out, simultaneously, we have learned that there's a new Inspector General investigation into alleged corruption at the Department of Homeland Security. The soliciting and handling of contracts, quote.
Ooh, hold on. Biden bought freezer buildings for COVID deaths. I know that some of that was happening in New York, but thank God they had freezer trucks and what were we going to do with all the bodies? I mean, I know we're building mass graves. I don't know. Sky, you didn't know they had been paying double for warehouses? I didn't know they were paying for double for warehouses. I didn't know that. No, I'm just learning. I'm reacting to the news. I didn't know they were paying double for the warehouses. I knew they were buying warehouses all over America. I didn't know they were paying double the price. I think that's a little weird. Do you know why? Why do you think? Let's play detective. Why are they paying double the price? I think I know why. But why do you think they're paying double the price for warehouses that they are allegedly going to turn into concentration camps? Remember, I talked about the warehouse thing. I got all this stuff because, Konzentrationslager. Lager means warehouse, but also camp in German. But it also means concentration camp. It also means concentration warehouse. It's a word that means both things. And so I thought it was funny that we were buying warehouses and turning them into concentration camps. Why don't we just change the word to Konzentrationslager? Because it would make more sense just to use the German word at this point. And people got on my case. People were so upset that I said that. But why do you think we're paying double the price for the warehouses to build concentration camps?
Including the involvement of former Secretary Kristi Noem and her de facto chief of staff, Corey Lewandowski. There was already an internal audit that had been sparked in the department for some reason, but now on top of that, there's a new and apparently quite urgent, quite aggressive investigation, which apparently included investigators searching the offices of one Homeland Security official last week, an official who had been reportedly placed in her DHS job by Corey Lewandowski and Kristi Noem. After NBC News recently reported that Corey Lewandowski...
I'm not believing anything she says. She hasn't said anything but facts. Not all warehouses. Besides, don't believe everything Rachel says. I do not believe everything Rachel says. If everybody knows, I try not to have Rachel Maddow on the show because I don't like the tone of her voice. This whole like shit-eating sarcasm really fucking chaps my hide. I read her book though called Drift, and it was really good. But I don't hate Rachel Maddow. I just don't believe everything she says. Or yeah, why would you? You don't believe everything. You know, she contradicts herself. She's just another Democrat. I mean, I don't like Democrats. As a rule, I'm Democrats hate me, and I don't like them. So, but right now she's just reporting other reporting. She's just saying, "Oh, look at all this. There's all this reporting that America's paying way more money." She's just pointing out other people's reporting right now. So,
Lewandowski reportedly sought multi-million-dollar payments from companies that were contracting with Homeland Security, including specifically companies that operate immigration prisons. He was seeking multi-million-dollar payments for himself from those companies as he was acting as the de facto chief of staff.
No, do you think it's just because it's not their money? No, I think it's because someone's taking money on the back end. Someone's getting a kickback. There's only one reason to overpay. Oh, I'll double pay you, but let's split whatever the overage is. Like if it's worth $50,000, I'll give you $100,000. I'm going to take $100,000 from the taxpayer. I'm going to give it to you. You keep 75. Give me 25 because I double paid you. We'll split the overage. That's usually how kickbacks work. I'm guessing something like that is what's going to happen here.
At that agency, including an unusual degree of oversight of contracts. I mean, Mr. Lewandowski denies this, but Democratic members of Congress have now opened their own investigation into what may have been going on there.
Rachel doesn't work at Fox, Sky. I know Rachel doesn't work at Fox. Rachel Maddow does contradict herself, and I find her sarcasm to be a little too thick. It's too performative, man. I don't know. Look, I'm not trying to talk a bunch of shit on. I'm not trying to talk a bunch of shit on Rachel Maddow. I just one Rachel Maddow story a week. Okay, like I try not to have her on the show very often. That's all. Is that all right for everybody?
So I'm just, you put these things together. I'm just going to say, hey, you guys, anybody wondering why it is that they slapped an extra 60, 80, $100 million on top of the price tag for these Trump prison camp warehouses they're buying in multiple states? Through totally opaque processes that make no financial sense whatsoever on their face? Yeah, you guys maybe want to slow that down a sec? 3,000 people in the Hagerstown, Maryland public square would like you to slow that down for sure. Social Circle, Georgia, town officials put a lock on the water meter at the warehouse the Trump administration is trying to turn into a prison there. I think they'd like you to slow it down a little bit, take another look. The city council in Salt Lake City, Utah just voted to cap the amount of water they'd be allowed to use at the warehouse they want to be a huge prison there as well. That's one where they appear to have overpaid $48 million for that warehouse for no explicable reason. Yeah, maybe they'd like you to slow that down, take another look at that one as well. Why'd they overpay for all these things in such a rush? Why'd they overpay by tens of millions of dollars at one of these things after another? Who made off with all of that money? Whose pockets just got stuffed with the tens of millions of dollars in taxpayer money?
Somebody's.
Unaccounted for in almost all of these transactions. Yeah, you think you might want to slow it down a little bit? That stink is what you think it is. It smells like corruption, which, you know what, kings and dictators on their golden toilets are quite famous for.
Well, I gotta agree with her there. I mean, it seems like some kind of graft for sure, man. Somebody's grifting for sure. But the thing is, the beginning of the story actually stuck out to me more than the grift. Are you surprised that someone's making money off of all these real estate deals with building concentration camps? I'm sure the Germans did the same thing. Somebody probably got rich off of all the land that they were buying and selling for the concentration camps, but especially the ones that they built inside of Germany. Out in Poland, maybe not, but the ones inside of Germany, people definitely made money off of. Anyway, the fact that there's people in Maryland saying no camps and the No Kings protests were begging everybody to go to Hagersville, I think is called, where they're building a concentration camp. Like, that's something that I think we should all kind of just stick in our memory banks for later. We are living in a country where at least a fairly large group of us are saying, hey, we don't want concentration camps in our backyards. That's pretty crazy, because like when I lived in Germany and I knew people, they said that they knew that there were these camps. They knew that the ghettos were happening, and they knew that there were camps. And then when they started moving people to the camps, they didn't know exactly. They called them criminals. They said they were the worst of the worst and all this stuff. That's what they were saying before they turned everything into death camps. It was all just labor camps, slave camps. Isn't that what we're doing? And isn't it something that where some people are protesting it? Like, we know they're building the concentration camps, and some of us are protesting the concentration camps. I mean, I know we got some maggers here. This guy Acid House is still here. Are you pro concentration camp? Are you okay with it? The German camps were set up for health and safety. Yeah, because of manufactured typhus scare. Exactly. They're made of typhus scare. They also accused Jews of poisoning wells and manipulating markets and child snatching and things like that. They didn't have the same vocabularies that we do around those types of crimes, but they accused the Jews and immigrants and blacks and gays of all the same shit that MAGA is claiming of the same groups. The politically vulnerable always get accused of the same crimes throughout the years forever, because the real crime is being committed by the Epstein class, the Trumpstein class, but they'll blame the politically vulnerable. It's always been that way. But I'm really clear. We don't know anything except rumors. Well, we know that they're building concentration camps. I mean, I guess like Sophie Scholl knew nothing but rumors, but we have whistleblowers. We have photographs. We've seen the video from CCOT. We've seen the video from Alligator Alcatraz and the Lone Star lockup and the what was the other one called? The Speedway Slammer. We've seen the video. We've seen these warehouses being bought. We know why they're being. We have FEC records. We have spending.gov that shows you where the money's going. We know who's spending the money. It's DHS. Why are they buying all these warehouse spaces? You know, why is it? It's weird. I'd be interested to go send the Somali pirates to Greenland. Somali pirates, huh? Somali pirates. We're the pirates now, in case you haven't noticed. We're the ones in the Caribbean robbing ships and taking political leaders and stealing oil tankers. Yes. Do we still have the huge stock of plastic coffins? Oh, Jesus, Will David. I wonder about that. Oh my God, I haven't thought about that. Well, you know, you don't need plastic coffins. You just have mass graves. It's getting nuts. I think it's worrisome. And the fact that there are people protesting, we don't want concentration camps in our neighborhoods or outside of our towns. That's something, man. If you don't think where there's smoke, there's fire, there's a lot of smoke. And you're still saying, well, those are just rumors. Yeah, but the stated policy is to delete 15 million people, to delete 3,000 people a day. That ain't a rumor. That's Stephen Miller's stated purpose. That's not a rumor. Ellis Island camps. I mean, Ellis Island wasn't a camp really, but I mean, Ellis Island was a processing center for immigrants. This isn't. That was like an intake ward. Anyway, it's interesting.
This morning, President Trump is issuing new threats to Iran as...
And the fact that there's this grift about it doesn't even shock me. It's the fact that people are protesting. We know the concentration camps are being built. We know this is going on. And some of us are protesting it. And some of us are saying, don't look. It ain't no thing. We'll just wait until it gets really bad. If we just wait until it gets horrible, well, then we're no better than the Germans were. Oh, we didn't think it was going to get that bad. That's what they said. I've met them. When I lived in Germany, I met people who were older, who remembered those times, and they told me their parents said the same thing. We didn't know it was going to get that bad. We didn't think he was going to do all that shit. We thought we were going to have a good economy and we were going to stick it to the Jews because they were poisoning the wells and taking our money or whatever. They made a bunch of shit, you know. They were the reason we lost World War I, all that stuff. And now And then they woke up one day and they were in Nazi Germany. They were occupied. You're saying that couldn't happen here? When I was a kid, I said it could never happen in America. It could never happen. And now it seems like it is. You don't know if it is a processing center or not. You really don't know until you do stop spreading rumors. Well, I know what a processing center. I've been to Ellis Island, and I've been to Auschwitz, and I've been to Dachau, and I've been to Bergen-Belsen. And most of those started out as processing centers, by the way. Well, Ellis Island always was a processing center, but all of them were processing centers for deportation programs. All of the concentration camps, except for the ones like the death camps, like Auschwitz over in Poland, all the ones that you kind of knew about were just processing centers where they separated people, separated families. Men went in this line, women went in that line, workers went here. Sex trafficked people would go this way. That's how they did it, and they would determine where you were going based on your abilities and your health, and that was what the concentration camps were. That's how we did it. They weren't there just to intern people; they were there to process people for deportation. It started out as a mass deportation plan. So, saying these are just processing centers is the same thing as saying, well, they're concentration camps. Concentration camps were processing centers. That was the whole point of them. That's why they had trains that came right up to them, so they could put people on and off, depending on where the regime wanted them to go.
An oil tanker is hit in the Strait of Hormuz.
Doug Luzader is live in Washington this morning with the latest developments from the Middle East. Good morning, Doug.
Good morning. We just saw gas prices shoot up again overnight as the Trump administration pursues both diplomatic and...
I love this guy, Doug Luzader over on Fox. Man, this guy cracks me up. He always just he looks so... I always feel like he says all this really right-wing shit, but he doesn't believe it.
military options. A U.S. Central Command releasing new images of strikes against Iran.
German citizens had no guns? Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Absolutely, German citizens had guns. They made it illegal for Jews to have guns. That's what they did. Just like now they're collecting illegal guns in D.C. They're doing the same thing here. They're collecting guns. The Trump regime is bragging about how many guns they're confiscating every day. For a while, they were publishing that number every day. In D.C., we've confiscated 100 guns, 300 guns. They would do it every day for a while. You don't really hear that number anymore because they were getting in a little trouble with the NRA, and a couple of gun owners like me were pointing that out. But they're not. Germans had guns. They had the Schutzvereine. They had tons of guns. Germany still has guns. You have to be part of a club, but even they have guns. You couldn't do anything about it. You couldn't do anything when you have the Gestapo coming over and they start taking your neighbors out. Even if you wanted to do something, what are you going to do about it? They're just going to send more people. If you shoot these guys, they're going to send 10 more. You shoot 10 of those, they're going to send 100 more. They had guns.
Iranian targets. This may pale in comparison to what's to come, though, according to President Trump. He posted on Truth Social, if the Hormuz Strait is not immediately open for business, we will conclude our lovely stay in Iran by blowing up and completely obliterating all of their electric generating plants, oil wells, and Karg Island, and possibly all desalinization plants. The White House press secretary was asked whether this would amount to a war crime.
Of course, this administration and the United States Armed Forces will always act within the confines of the law. But with respect to achieving the full objectives of Operation Epic Fury, President Trump is going to move forward unabated, and he expects the Iranian regime to make a deal with the administration.
Which regime? They said they're not talking to you.
Despite Iranian statements to the contrary, the president has said talks with new leaders in Iran are progressing. But even for Pakistan...
Who are the new leaders? How is it that this guy is perpetually on camera, and yet we've not seen any photos of anyone having any conversation with any Iranians? You tell me you don't have a photo of fucking Rubio or Witkoff talking to an Iranian? Just pick one. Just at least try. Pull an Iranian out of the crowd, put a uniform on him, and be like, hey, stand next to Rubio right now. Pretend like you're talking about shit. Nothing. Oh, trust us. We're having conversations. Really? Really? Because nobody says you are. Putin says you're not. Iran says you're not.
acting as an intermediary, communications are difficult.
Iran is a war-torn country with the communication channels certainly disrupted, and it is not even easy to get responses in a good time.
And while negotiations may move forward, they may only go so far with Iran.
They would have to surrender all of the capability that they have with verification, anytime, anywhere inspections. At the end of the day,
We had that with Obama.
I believe they're not going to do that because that is who they are.
No, not who they are. We had that. It didn't work. It's so funny. We demand stuff they already capitulated to. And it's the same thing we did to the American Indians. We found gold under their feet. We said, okay, well, we own this land now. And they're like, well, you told us that we have a piece of paper saying that we own this. Like, you moved us to this land. Yeah, but we found out later there was gold under your feet. But we have a piece of paper that says that this is ours now. You are the one who made us move here. Yeah, we're changing that. We don't believe in that anymore. We're ripping up that contract. That's what we did to the Iranians. We made a contract. We said anytime, anywhere inspections, stop building nuclear weapons. You're only going to be able to have nuclear power. And then Donald Trump in his first term ripped that up. During Biden, they started their nuclear program all over again because we ripped up the contract. Donald Trump gets back into office. He's like, why are you building nuclear weapons? Well, we told you we were gonna. You ripped up our contract. Like, what do you want him to do? You want him to live by a contract you ripped up? You fucking crazy? Are you crazy? This is what people believe with Donald Trump, negotiator in chief, deal maker in chief. Brilliant. You guys were talking about Gestapo, but after 9/11, nobody stopped that shit. You guys wanted people were arguing about it after 9/11. I remember it very well. I was 22 when 9/11 happened, and you're right. Like the first year after maybe up until 2003, people were pretty gung ho. But 2004, they started with Department of Homeland Security and ICE. And it got a little crazy, and then we started bombing Iraq, and everything changed. So no, people were arguing and angry about DHS and the spying on American citizens and the Patriot Act and all of that. So let's not try to rewrite history here. I was there. We were very upset about the Patriot Act. It was scary. They made movies about it, about how we're ripping up the Constitution. Denzel Washington, I think, was in a movie about New York City being taken over by Gestapo. There was a movie about Edward R. Murrow that George Clooney did about the Red Scare, which was clearly a metaphor about George W. Bush. So, no, people were into it. You were in jail when 9/11 happened? Wow. Hopefully not in New York City. In New York City?
Have you, in negotiations that you have been privy to, ever seen a commander-in-chief say that peace negotiations were ongoing while simultaneously threatening the nation in question with physical force?
No, I don't think anybody ever has. It's clear.
Double tap the screen, please. This guy says no one ever has. No one's ever seen anybody. This guy's a former CIA bro, and he's saying no one's ever done that. Hey, let's have some negotiations about stopping the war, but I'm going to threaten you with everything. I'm obliterating, decapitating, annihilating, excruciating, excommunicating, excavating. The guy just wants to kill everybody. But I'm also negotiating. What?
That there's this toxic mix of traits that Donald Trump has, which is he's a pathological liar. He is incompetent on so many fronts. And he's also deeply corrupt, which I think is now being manifesting itself in terms of the Gulf War. That's why you have these wholly incoherent, wholly inconsistent flailing about because, first of all, again, there was no real rationale for this war. Secondly, he's trying to figure out what his next move is, and he doesn't understand exactly how he's going to get himself out of this mess. And thirdly, the Iranians now seem to have a lot more influence and cards to play, especially in terms of the Strait of Hormuz and allowing shipping to get out or not. And so therefore, I think Donald Trump is trying to present a false narrative to the American public by saying, yes, the Iranians now seem more reasonable. They're trying to negotiate. But, he's protected himself for so many years in this cocoon of disinformation. But the reality now is just penetrating and taking away that cocoon. And it's very clear in terms of how the war is going. Yes, we're decimating the Iranian military. But in terms of finding an off-ramp or getting out of it, as American consumers see their gas prices rise when they fill up their cars. So across the board, which is why,
this is something that a lot of people who aren't American don't get, that like when you are driving in America, everywhere you go, like I just went down the street for like a bottle of wine yesterday. and I drove, and I had to drive past 2 gas stations, and both have giant signs that tell me that I'm getting fucked because the prices are so large on them. People in other countries don't see it like that. It is insane in America. If anyone's ever been to the United States, you know. But a lot of people, you go to other countries, it's not like this. But in America, we have these massive signs that are like, you are getting screwed. And now, right now, if you go to a gas station in California, they have these other signs. They're also quite large. And they're on the ground. When you pull in, they're like, we know the prices are high, and you could vote against the new tax on gas. A lot of this is taxes. It's not our fault. It's like they're apologizing in advance for the pricing because it's so goddamn expensive. And because the way taxes work, it's always a percentage, right? So as the price goes up, the tax also goes up. So we're going to need some tax relief in California because this is fucking crazy. I can't stop driving. We can't just all stop driving in America because we haven't built the infrastructure for it. We can't do it. This question, this is nice. Well, that was like asking Chinese what would they want with Biden. What would they want Joe Biden to do? Well, you're in the right place. I hate Joe Biden. I've hated Joe Biden since I was 9 years old. But bringing up Joe Biden right now is a little hilarious. Like, Joe Biden, Joe Biden, Joe Biden. Look, man, you're on the right channel. Nobody likes Joe Biden. What the fuck does that have to do with the price of gas? What the fuck does Joe Biden have to do with the price of gasoline right now? What the fuck does Joe Biden have to do with the price of tea in China? What the fuck does Joe Biden have to do with anything we're talking about? Any of it? Well, Joe Biden didn't release the Epstein files. All right, but he's also not mentioned a million times in them. Like, what are you talking about? Joe Biden, Hunter Biden did cocaine. So what? No one's talking. Don Jr. does more cocaine than Keith Richards. The guy's done so much cocaine. He's got they call his house Mount Kilimanjaro. The snows of Kilimanjaro is what they call Don Jr.'s house. The guy is a cokehead big game hunter. Who cares? Hunter Biden's laptop, though. Who gives a shit? What's that got to do with 161 little girls vaporized in Iran who were just trying to go to school that day? And a surprise attack happened. How many children died at Pearl Harbor when that surprise attack happened? Jesus. Joe Biden, though. Great. Joe Biden sucks. I hate Joe Biden. I've always hated Joe Biden. I've hated Joe Biden since I was 9 years old. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you already know that. I was never a fan of Joe Biden. If you were watching this channel back then, which you probably weren't because the channel was far smaller back then, I was bitching about Joe Biden when he was president. I hated him back then. I've never supported Joe Biden. And yet people still get into my chat every single day and are like, Joe Biden! Yes, sir, Joe Biden, though. It's like, you guys just take your marching orders from Donald Trump. That is a cult. That's how I know you're in a cult, is that Donald Trump never shuts the fuck up about Joe Biden, so you never shut the fuck up about Joe Biden. The best, you know what the only nice thing I can say about Joe Biden is? I'd probably say 3 nice things, but the best thing about Joe Biden, the number one thing that I loved about Joe Biden is that he didn't constantly bring up Donald Trump. He wasn't every fucking time someone put a microphone in his face. He wasn't like, stupid Donald Trump. He didn't do that shit. Because he had some, like, I don't know, old school decorum or something. He just had just some basic dignity, just basic shame. How about that? Just some shame? Who the fuck? I never heard Barack Obama, not even one time, blame George W. Bush for anything, talk about George W. Bush, never threw shade on George W. Bush. Never heard it. Maybe he did. But I was in college at the time, and I was very political, and I never remember Barack Obama mentioning George W. Bush. When George W. Bush was president, I don't recall him ever bringing up Bill Clinton. I don't remember him ever mentioning Bill Clinton. Why would he? But Donald Trump never shuts up about Joe Biden. Never. Joe Biden will be dead, and he'll still live rent-free in Donald Trump's head. And there you guys still are talking about Joe Biden. Are you out of your mind? You just do everything that Donald Trump says? Fuck, no president. My point is not Biden forgot Trump's name. It's funny. Okay, ha ha ha. He was old. But like, Biden didn't mention Trump. Trump never shut up about Barack Obama. Barack Obama never mentioned George W. Bush. George W. Bush never mentioned Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton never mentioned George H.W. Bush. George H.W. Bush, I only mentioned Reagan during the primary and election. Never mentioned him during his presidency. And Ronald Reagan never mentioned Carter. They don't talk about each other like little bitches. I bet your ex-boyfriend doesn't have as big a dick as me. It's like, who the fuck talks like that? Your ex-boyfriend never gave it to you like this. Dude, you're creepy. Shut the fuck up about my ex. I don't want to talk about my ex. I didn't like... he's my ex for a reason. Biden is my ex for a reason. Jesus, take the win. You got the election. You're in the Oval Office. Shut the fuck up about my ex. You're fucking the whole country. And you're still talking about our ex. Shut up about my ex.
I'm talking about the No Kings rally. And let's not forget Bruce Springsteen, a New Jersey guy, in Minneapolis.
Jersey corner.
But intelligence analysts look for trends. And we see a trend here. And we also look for, okay, if there's a trend of demonstrations of protests, what is fueling it? Is the fuel going away or is the fuel increasing? And both on the domestic front and on the international front, there is more and more fuel that is feeding those fires of protests and demonstrations. And what are these protesters looking toward? Looking toward the November elections. So again, I think the people who are organizing these rallies recognize that there is still several months before the November elections. And they want to make sure that that momentum is going to continue and that the people are going to feel as though that their voices are making a difference.
I'm struck by intelligence analysts look for trends. That's the trend with the protesters and the people in this country raising their voices. What is the trend then you see from this administration?
Everyone just laughs. That's so funny.
33% approval rating of Donald Trump. That's a trend. Is it down?
33% approval rating. If you are part of the 33% of people who still support Donald Trump, you're probably part of the same 33% who don't have object permanence or volume permanence figured out as a skill. Like, you are part of the 30% of people who can't read in this country. The 30% of people that think angels ride on your shoulder. The 30% of people who think that the earth is flat. You are the dumb shits of America. I'm sorry, at this point, I want us to provide space and grace for anyone with half a brain waking up in America today saying, whoa, this Donald Trump thing has gone too far. I want to, but it's 2026, baby doll. It's almost April and people are dying. We're at war and you still haven't woken up. It's you, baby. It's you. You got to wake up now. It's time to wake up, baby doll. Holy shit, it's always 30. It's always 33. It's always 33. Club 33. God damn. Yeah, the same thing happened in Germany. I know, 33%. It's always 33. Amazing how 33. It's always a third of the country is perfectly okay with murdering the other third of the country. But it's like, at this point, you're either... But the thing about Donald Trump supporters and MAGers, they are, not all of them seem so Nazi-ish. They don't all seem so evil. They just seem like they're duped, like they've been bamboozled. But you know what? You got to wake up. I know it's painful, baby doll. You got to wake up and realize you've been bamboozled. We'll all be there for you. Big open arms. I'll give you a big hug. Come on. You don't even have to think the way I do. You don't have to believe anything that I say. But this guy is poison. He's bad for you, honey child. He's toxic. Gotta leave him. Let that man go. Kick him to the curb, honey. Kick him to the curb. He ain't good for you, honey. Jesus, we're like an abused spouse at this point.
And this morning, for the first time since Venezuela President Nicolas Maduro's capture, Cuba appears to be getting some oil, at least for now. President Donald Trump confirmed that a shipment from Russia arrived to Cuba on Monday.
Oh, man, like in Macbeth, angels are bright still, though the brightest fell. Yes, angels are bright still, though the brightest fell. A third of the angels fell. Man, Wild David, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, Wild David. I like that. You could stay. How come you're not a channel member, Wild David? You dropping bombs like that. I want you to channel member so I can see you in the chat more, buddy, baby. Buddy boy, Wild David, become a Sky City Rebel. Support the channel. MAGA needs an intervention. MAGA needs an intervention. Shit. At some point, MAGA's going to need liberation. We're going to have to... There might be blood in these streets. Yeah, most of MAGA just got fooled and are too stubborn to admit it. Buyer's remorse is hell of a deterrent. Yeah, that's the thing, Parallelish. It's hard for me to hate every MAGA, right? It's easy for me to hate like ICE and some of the goons, but there's a lot of people that are just like one of my callers on the call-in show. I do a call-in show at 1 o'clock, everybody, 1 p.m. and at 5 p.m. If one of you guys want to come on the show and talk to me, if you want to come on the chat, I do a call-in show later on in the day. But with somebody who can't call in, she said her dad died, and he was 86, and he was really into MAGA. And it's like, man, you tell me that 86-year-old wasn't just duped. That 86-year-old probably gave someone his social security number who called like a random number. You know, like 86-year-olds getting duped by Donald Trump. Are you surprised? Like, demagatize. You got to demagatize them. You just pour water on the maggot. You just pour water on the maggot. Nobody knows how maggots work. You just pour water and the maggot is gone. You got to demaggotize it. Demaggotize it. Pour water on it. Just got to pour water on it. The denial of vulnerability. Dude, that's it. That's it. The denial of vulnerability. Like, my father is in the dementia ward or the memory ward of like, well, he's got dementia. And he's like, nothing's wrong. No. Like, he doesn't want to be vulnerable. He doesn't admit that he's lost 100 pounds, you know. My dad's like almost as tall as me. So he's like 6'4", and he used to weigh like 300 pounds easy. I weigh 245, and he was like 300, and now I think he weighs like 115 pounds. He's so skinny now, and he refuses to admit that he is way underweight, that he can't remember shit, doesn't know what's happening. Denial of vulnerability. It's the male ego, I think. Something like that, for sure. Unfortunately, even if you're regretting it, there isn't an alternative. There is an alternative. No party. We don't have to be in these cults. The alternative is no party. This is the problem, guys. You do not have to be a Democrat. I'm not a fucking Democrat. You just don't... Just say fuck both the parties. It's perfectly acceptable position in America. I'm a resistor. I'm a rebel. I don't want to be part of these cults. I am rejecting all cults. I myself, I've danced with the Democrats. I've danced with the Republicans, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck both of these guys. They're the same shit. I've worked for Republicans and Democrats, and I'm like, I'm over it, man. It's okay. You can get older and be like, you know what? Psh, calling myself a Democrat when I'm not on the payroll is stupid. Calling myself a Republican when I'm not getting paid is stupid. Just you don't have to be part of outlaw culture. There you go. Outlaw culture. Band on the run. Band on the run. F both parties is how I'm living, but I hate all government. Mr. Good Citizen, that's what I hate all government. It's okay. You can still love America and hate the government. That's perfectly acceptable. This whole idea, well, there's no alternative. Bro, you're an orphan. Get used to it. We're all orphans out here. The media has failed you. The political parties have failed you. Your religions have failed you. Everyone has failed you but me. Your only choice is to go try to find some independent media that makes you think. I don't want you to agree with me, by the way. I don't want you to just do what I say or think how I think. I just want you to start thinking, period. Start questioning authority, start challenging the status quo, because they got you fucking tighter than a wound up clock. They got you so tightly wound up that you probably trying to take alcohol and SSRIs just to get your brain back in order. You're probably taking some shit to make you sleep at this point because everything's fucked. And it doesn't have to be this way. You don't have to think like me. Think for yourself. Leaderless. Don't do what other people say. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. It's that easy.
The president had cut the island nation off from key oil shipments through a blockade in an effort to force a regime change. Now, this all led to blackouts, power grid failures, and so much more. The president says that he allowed the shipment through due to the ongoing humanitarian crisis. Right now, it's unclear if he's completely ending that blockade or if he only plans to allow in small amounts of oil.
He's gonna talk about, Donald Trump's about to talk about how he wants oil going to Cuba all of a sudden, which is like, I thought, what? How do you guys deal with this like, this is the thing. If you're in the cult, you got to flip flop every day. Screw that. Stop being part of the cult. You can't flip flop every day and still go to sleep. No wonder you're all on Ambien. No wonder you're I take caffeine every morning, but this is about it. I'm drug free, baby doll. I'm drug free. I don't take any pills. Screw it. Put me in the grave before you put me on a pill regimen. I don't want the pill cocktail. I don't want it. I'm sick and tired of everyone telling me there's a pill to fix all my problems. How about this? We'll just fix the problems. Stop giving me pills to make me not notice the problems. You'd wonder why people are drinking more than they've ever drunk before. We're at like pre-prohibition levels of drinking now. There are more breweries than there were during pre-prohibition era. We are doing more damage to ourselves. Children are drinking at younger ages because they're not driving as much. We're not noticing as much. But like, it's bad. Since COVID, more people are drinking because we haven't healed at all. We had an international, a global traumatic event. Millions of people died, and there's still a large portion of people that deny it ever even happened. And none of us have done any healing. We've only medicated. And we just keep nodding. If we do what we're told, boss, will everything go back to normal? No, it will never go back to normal. Those days are over. Pre-COVID, pre-internet, nostalgia is your anodyne. Nostalgia is your sedative, your opiate. Stop thinking it's going back to the 90s, y'all. It ain't going back to the 90s, and the 90s weren't all they were cracked up to be. Okay? Stop it with your, I love the 90s. The 90s were good. Let's just go back to a time before we had the internet, before everyone was flicking their beans and jerking their cocks on the internet. Let's do that. Those days are gone. Gone. And they're not coming back. Sorry to be the one to break it to you. Up against the wall. You know what's funny? I want up against the wall crowd. The up against the wall crowd. When I was brainstorming stuff for my channel, I wanted to have a group called the up against the wall crowd. Up against the wall. Yeah. Eugenics post-World War II has been wild.
Out there, we don't mind having somebody get a boat load because they have to survive. That report is true as far as you know. Well, I would say, I told them, if a country wants to send some oil into Cuba right now, I have no problem with it.
Do you worry that helps?
Whether it's Russia or not.
Do you worry that helps Vladimir?
Whether it's Russian or not, let them have oil. We want them to have oil all of a sudden. It's weird, but my friend, the Russians, we love those guys. We love the Russians. They can have as much oil as they want, and now Cuba can buy it too.
You know who Cuba gets most of their oil from? Mexico. And America has said that if Mexico delivers oil there, they're going to kill them. Now, why would Donald Trump say it's okay for Russia to deliver oil to Cuba? Is it okay for Mexico? It's a little weird.
Listen, how bad he loses one boatload of oil, that's all it is. It's fine. If he wants to do that, and if other countries want to do it, it doesn't bother me much. It's not going to have an impact. Cuba's finished. They have a bad regime. They have
Cuba's finished. Cuba's finished.
Bad and corrupt leadership. And whether or not they get a boat of oil, it's not going to matter.
America's finished, man. Doesn't matter how much oil. We could get all the oil from Iran. It doesn't matter. America's finished. They got a bad regime, bad government. We're fucking killing our own people in the streets. Yeah, we're finished.
I'd prefer letting it in, whether it's Russia or anybody else, because the people need heat and cooling and all of the other things that you need. Go ahead. No, the issue of the Strait of Hormuz and Iran control of it and charging tolls. What do you think?
Buy Doge? Oh, man, buy lots of Doge. You know what's funny? I did buy some Doge right when he bought Twitter because I thought, man, if this guy's smart, he'll start paying Twitter content creators with Dogecoin. That would have been genius. But he didn't do it. And now Twitter's a shit show. But how cool would it be if Twitter paid content creators in Doge and you created some kind of way you can buy shit with your Dogecoin? Come on, that shit writes itself. $1 billion idea right there. But anyway, he didn't do that, and my Doge is worth basically the same as it ever was. But hey, you know what? Is my grouping tight? My grouping's pretty tight. At 7 yards, my grouping's pretty right. I haven't been to the range for a few weeks with everything going on in my life, but I'm willing to. I want to go back soon. I let my range membership expire. I was going every week, I was going sometimes twice a week, but I haven't done anything with it, and I haven't wanted to touch my gun for the last few days. So, but I'll go back soon. Yes, Doge should have a pump and dump on since Twitter X is about to implement XPay. I'm telling you, they should, but they should. You sold everything. I have nothing. Man, Melania, you didn't buy any Melania coin? Hello. Melania coin? I thought, I don't know why these idiots, they do all this crypto stuff. They don't do anything cool with it. How cool would it have been if they said, okay, the first 1,000 people who buy tickets to the Melania movie to see it in the movie theaters will get 10 Melania coins. That would have been fun. This is what crypto is supposed to be like. It used to be fun, but now it's just robbery. It's not even fun. What the fuck are they doing with the Melania coin? Why not have if you have Melania coin, you can buy Melania's branded sneakers. We used to have a new branded a necklace. It's a cheap old necklace that Melania likes, and you could buy it with 10 Melania coins. It'd be fun. But no, they don't do any of it. Just a touch. That's the whole movie. Just a touch. Touch right here. Touch. Sharp touch. That's the whole movie. The whole movie is her telling everyone, just a touch. Save your ammo. I know. That's the other thing. I mean, I have quite a bit of ammo, and I've been trying to. They keep selling out of ammo around my house, and I'm like, I think I'll just keep it for a while. They keep selling out of 9mm and 5.56. It's weird. Melania airdrop if you saw the movie, LOL. It would have been nice, right? That would have been cool. But they don't do anything fun. It's just pure robbery. That's why crypto used to be fun, and now it fucking sucks. NFTs was fun, and then Donald Trump got involved, and now it sucks. Everything he touches turns to shit. Do you remember how much fun NFTs were? And then Donald Trump gets in, it's like, hey guys, you guys like trading cards? Here's ones with me as a buff fireman. Remember Donald Trump doing NFTs with the buff fire? He's, I'm an astronaut. Buy my NFTs. They're the best NFTs. Why did people do that? He ruined NFTs. What in the hell are we doing?
About that. We'll have to find out if it's true. They're going to do whatever they have to do. We could close that up in 2 minutes. We could close that up so fast your head would spin.
Do you want to see?
You got smashed on NFTs. Yeah, it was because of Donald Trump. He ruined it. We were all having a good time. It was fun. We had all these Discord communities and shit. NFTs were fun. And then they all went to shit when Donald Trump started an NFT collection. It was all fun and games. And then the president got involved and started fleecing people. And it was like, oh, this is just a grift. We were having a good time. We were all on playing games with those little NFTs that can mate and shit. It was fun.
Gulf countries that are being attacked by Iran to start to fight back?
They are fighting back. Saudi Arabia is fighting back hard. Qatar is fighting.
You thought all NFTs were always... I mean, NFTs... Man, they were fun. They had... I was in Long Beach, and and there happened to be a Bored Apes party going on, and it was so cool. They had their NFTs, and they were all partying together, and you could only get in if you had a Bored Ape NFT. Hell, man, that's fun, right? That's cool. Why can't we just have fun with shit? It was a cool thing, and it all went to shit. It was fun. Can't we just have fun? And when were NFTs ever good? Well, I don't know if they were good. I mean, they were just fun. That's all. They were just like a fun little thing on the internet. It was a good time. It was fun. We were meeting people. We were having conversations. We were talking about art. A bunch of degens were talking about art and stuff, talking about how they like the different JPEGs and the vibes. We're talking about JPEGs and vibes. I mean, shit was fun. Generative art. I designed some NFT projects. It was so much fun. I had such a good time with it. And now it sucks.
UAE is fighting back. Kuwait's fighting back. Bahrain's fighting back. They're all fighting back. Actually, they were surprised to be hit. I was very surprised they got hit. And once they got hit, they started fighting very well. We're very strong community.
Well, okay, so yeah, who would buy NFT later? I see it. Don't touch anything else with a Sharpie other than Trump's signature. Black out his signature, 100% legal. Just Sharpie it out. Art and parties were fun, but the concept of them were kind of lame. I mean, I guess. Look, I'm not trying to get anybody to buy NFTs, all right? I had a good time. I liked NFTs. I was having fun. And in art, I think pixel art was cool. I like the glitch art. I like generative art. Karina and I were working on one together. It was fun, man. And don't forget, at the time, Zuckerberg dumped like $4 billion into the metaverse stuff. And it was like, oh, you're going to have NFTs. You're going to have ownership of digital assets inside of these metaverses. And man, this guy's dumping $4 billion into it. Maybe it's going to work out and people are going to like live more online and stuff. That could be fun. And they could trade these NFTs and artists can get noticed and make money after people sell their art further and have like a sales piece every time you sell it. It was so cool. But no, it sucked. It sucked. 4.3 ETH absolutely gone into Stardust. I know, man. 4.3, holy shit. ETH yesterday was at like 1900. It's all going to shit. NFTs were just crypto with an art cover. That's my point. Crypto was fun for a while, and now it sucks. Donald Trump's in charge of it, and it sucks.
With all of those countries, and they've all been fighting their 100% of our
How long can you pay TSA workers for? How long can you pay TSA workers for from the One Big Beautiful Bill?
Well, we're going to pay them for as long as we have to, and I will tell you, the ICE workers have been amazing, and that's helping people with their bags.
We've seen the video. They're helping people with their bags? Really? ICE is helping people with their bags? Huh?
It's very interesting. We put ICE there, and ICE got a very unfair press. They're doing an amazing job.
Very unfair. Very unfair. That video that we keep seeing of ICE people beating the shit out of people and not doing much else inside the... Like, they're not doing anything. All of a sudden, they're not wearing masks either, which is funny. But they're just kind of hanging out at the airport mostly, it seems. I don't know what...
Getting hardened criminals murders. 11,888 murders were allowed to come into our country through Biden. And ICE has been amazing. Now, we said, give us a little hand during this period of time because this is caused by Democrat terrorists.
A Florida airport soon could...
Yeah, what happened to the Art Wave show? Ugh, I don't even want to go into that. I was the VP of digital art at Art Wave. Oh my God. Nothing happened. It all just went to shit. Everything that I was doing in that digital art space went to shit. So, like, what can I do? It sucked. Everything sucks. My life is just loss. I'm hoping this YouTuber thing really works out because everything else has gone to shit. I keep on getting titles like VP and director, and then everything goes tits up. It's like, it's not my fault. It's just that I keep on getting involved in businesses that go out of business or get sold to some other asshole. Every time I'm a executive director or manager or general manager, it gets sold, something happens. Crypto will come back. Yeah, maybe.
Bear President Trump's name. The Florida governor, Ron DeSantis, signed a bill Monday to rename the Palm Beach International Airport the President Donald J. Trump International Airport. Florida lawmakers approved the legislation. It still needs approval by the FAA, and if it goes through, the name change would take effect July 1st.
This morning, the Army...
They're gonna name an airport after Donald Trump while he's still alive and while he's still president in Florida. That's what that story was about. Ron DeSantis is saying it's okay. The FAA is definitely going to approve it. Palm Beach International Airport is going to be called Donald Trump International Airport. What the hell, bro? That's so gross. Like, at least wait till he's out of office, would you? For Christ's sake, man. Does everything have to have this asshole's name on it? They're going to put his signature on the money. They're going to put his face on the money. Is this really what we're doing? Just Saddam Hussein shit right now? Everything's just Saddam Hussein vibes. How will I even know what airport I'm going to? I'm going to the Donald Trump airport. Which one? They're all called Donald Trump airports. Everything's the Donald Trump airport. Let's just name who's LaGuardia. I don't know. The one that the airport formerly known as LaGuardia. Oh, Donald Trump airport. Yeah. Shit. That's what's gonna happen. Catch up in the restrooms. Yeah.
Is reviewing why 2 military helicopters were seen hovering outside the home of Robert James Ritchie, better known as Kid Rock.
Why does Kid Rock have Apache helicopters at his home? Why are they doing this? Like for the gram? Why are they doing Instagram selfies with Apache helicopters at Kid Rock's house?
And saluting Saturday as helicopters flew just outside his 27,000 square foot home overlooking Nashville.
He has a house made to look like the White House in Nashville. Why do we allow this type of thing to happen? Why have we allowed this? Why have we sunk so far in America? What have we done?
Modeled after the White House, Ritchie calls it the Southern White House. A spokesperson for the 101st.
There's a JFK airport, you dumb piece of shit. You know what's the thing? Maybe you haven't heard. JFK's dead. I don't know any airport named after a living guy, and I definitely don't know any airport named after a sitting president, you piece of shit. That's kind of the rule in America. We don't name shit after people while they're still breathing air with the rest of us because it's weird. Because that's the type of shit they do in Saddam Hussein's Iraq. Okay, that's the type of shit they do in dictatorships. I don't know. I'm against dictatorships. I don't know how you feel about them. I don't even like the look of the dictatorship. I don't like it. I don't like the banners with the dude's face on it, looking at me, making sure that I mind my P's and Q's. Make sure I'm better. Yes, sir. Better tip your hat at the picture. Maybe we should do like the Queen of England. We should put her picture in all the pubs, and then we need to tip our hat to the Queen as if the graven image is her actual face. We should do that with Donald Trump. Just put his face everywhere, and then we can kind of do a little salute every time we see it. Every time we see his picture, we could do a little salute. That would be the best, right? Best for all of us. That way we know who's on board, right? If you don't do the little salute when you see his photograph, then we know you're not one of us. You know, we know you're not a real one, and then we can send you to the concentration camp. That's perfect. Perfect. Bro, we're not supposed to be having assholes on the money. We're not supposed to have assholes. You know, even the JFK Memorial Arts Center, the Kennedy Center, that was named a year after he died. He was already dead when that was named. And he was assassinated. Sure, if he gets assassinated, name the airport after him. Until that happens, shut the fuck up. We're not naming airports after this asshole. You got to be joking me. It's disgusting.
Airborne based at nearby Fort Campbell, Kentucky, says.
And you're going to defend this too? Are you defending this too? How much gas? There's a gas crisis. No one can afford to put gas in their cars. We got plenty of gas for this helicopter. These two Apaches to hang out with Kid Rock. Do a little flyby. This is totally normal.
Assess the mission and verify compliance with regulations and airspace requirements. Appropriate action will be taken if any violations are found. He stressed the review is not an investigation. Ritchie defended the flyby, speaking to our Nashville station.
I think they're going to be all right. My buddy's commander-in-chief. I mean, what are they looking into? They stopped for, I don't know, seconds, a minute? You know, maybe they were here 3-4 minutes, you know, just say what's up.
The helicopters were allegedly the same ones spotted nearby, flying over a No Kings anti-Trump protest Saturday. Some protesters claim the flyover was an intimidation tactic.
Of course it was an intimidation tactic. Why the hell would you fly Apache helicopters over any Americans ever? Have you ever seen an Apache helicopter? I've seen them at air shows or on bases. I don't see them sometimes you see them off the coast. Because I live in California, sometimes if you're at the beach, you see the Apaches out there, or the Black Hawks out there, or those big crazy ones with the double, I forget what those are called, C something, I forget what those are called. Man, we see them, Chinooks, are those called Chinooks? I forget. We got all these damn things that go out there. By the way, they named them Apaches because we killed Apaches. That they name military equipment after American Indians because we killed American Indians, and we do that as like a trophy thing. Tomahawk missiles, Apaches, all those types of things. Blackhawks. We name military equipment after tribes that we murdered. It's a whole thing. It's a joke. It's just a joke. They do that intentionally.
The Army insists the choppers were flying for training purposes, and any association with the No Kings rally also happening in Nashville that day is entirely coincidental. But a local councilwoman asking they could have chosen any other place, any other time to do a training exercise. So why was it this?
Yeah, the Comanche, same thing. Yeah. They could have had their training anywhere, but they did it right over the No Kings protest. Why were they flying Apache helicopters armed to the teeth, guns hot, over the No Kings protest? Nothing about intimidation, though. It was not about intimidation. Trust us.
Location specifically. Hannah Baton,
Yes.
ABC News.
Totally ridiculous. Come on.
ABC News is learning that the FBI is getting ready to release old case files that could taint the campaign of one of the leading candidates for California governor.
Now, this case involves a decades-old investigation into a suspected Chinese spy ring with ties to Congressman Eric Swalwell.
ABC 7 Eyewitness News political reporter Monica Madden is here now to explain why some people are questioning the timing of this release.
Yes, Kristen, Larry, keep in mind that Congressman Eric Swalwell is a longtime foe of President Donald Trump. So Swalwell says this is why he believes that the case is resurfacing now with his candidacy for California governor front and center. Congressman Eric Swalwell slamming the Trump administration Monday amid reports the FBI is resurfacing a closed counterintelligence probe into him.
We are here today because of absolute nonsense.
The records relate to a decade-old investigation into a suspected Chinese spy who previously volunteered for Swalwell's 2014 re-election campaign. Swalwell was cleared of...
That's so funny. Some spy 30 years ago, some Chinese spy, a suspected Chinese spy, volunteered for the Swalwell campaign 30 years ago, and now they're reopening the investigation. The FBI's on the case. What about that Nancy Guthrie case? How's that coming? How's that coming there, Spider Cash? Spider Cash, why don't you catch some criminals, asshole?
Doing and House Republicans closed an ethics probe in 2023.
This case is closed, but this effort to weaponize the FBI against the president's political enemy at a time that we are at war
Totally.
shows a distraction.
Swalwell did not directly mention the allegations to reporters in San Francisco on Monday, but stressed the political implications.
Trump and Patel are trying to interfere in the California election. That's why they're
Yep.
targeting me. I'm the only name in the race that they know. The only one that they're threatened by.
House Judiciary Democrats coming to his defense, with ranking member Jamie Raskin writing, quote, "This is plain weaponization of the FBI for partisan political purposes."
The irony.
Eminem's song "Like Home." I'll check it out. This is clearly what it is, right? Like they're releasing Swalwell's old investigation. If I were Swalwell, I'd be like, open a motherfucker. Open it. I want full transparency. Open it all. I want it completely out. That's the only way to handle it. When the administration, if anyone ever threatens you, like I had a friend, he got hacked, and they had photos of him, videos of him, because he like sent them to a girl or something. I forget why. He had photos of himself on his phone, and he got hacked, and they blackmailed him. They're like, if you don't give us the money, we are going to send these images to all of your contacts, everybody. And he's like, well, I don't want that to happen. But he didn't have any money. And so he had to go tell all of his friends and everyone that he knew that they were going to send him some pictures. They were going to send pictures. And they did. They sent everyone that he knew pictures of himself jerking off. I feel like the only way to do it, if you're getting blackmailed, is just be like, hey, open it up. Put it out there.
This is a dark period. It's contrary to the kind of ambiance that I struggle to maintain. So it's like a gut punch. It's devastating.
Around 11:30 Saturday night, the Washington County Sheriff's Office were called out to a large party at the airplane home on Southwest Holly Hill Road.
Neighbors were calling in, essentially the party that was taking place. And Washington County has a zero tolerance policy for underage drinking.
Up to 200 people were at the party, many of them teens who were underage drinking. People who live on the property but chose not to appear on camera told me at first the party started out calm, but closer to midnight is when things got rowdy, with people yelling and jumping on the wings, prompting them to call the authorities as they tried to get people to leave. After that is when 2 people were shot and taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
People jumping on this thing, killing each other. America, we drink too much, we shoot each other. That's what we do here. Spy girls are a blessing. Chinese spy girls are a blessing? Yeah, maybe you're right. Chinese spy girls are a blessing. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Skyjack Morgan. I'm an independent news and culture commentator, free speech, and critical thinking advocate. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Skyjack Morgan. This is the Morning Sky Show, the #1 news reaction show on YouTube. I'll be live again in about a few hours. At 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. That'll be the call-in show. You can call in, and we can talk about whatever you got going on in your mind. I'll have a menu of items we can chat about, but you can also BYOB, bring your own battle, and we'll talk about stuff at that time. Thank you so much for joining. Illegitimate non-carborundum, don't let the bastards grind you down, because I need you, we need each other. The animals need us most of all. And Godspeed, rebels. Think for yourself. Don't let the bastards grind you down. Thanks.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so friggin' much.